Just to give you a bit of an understanding of the unlimited transformative powers that you carry, whenever you think about somebody, you're actually formulating an energy tether, and that becomes an extension of your energy. So you are now infusing your energy with that person wherever they are in the world, because distance is an illusion. So when you remember, moments from the past, you're actually there again because energy doesn't die. You think about somebody, or perhaps you want to be with somebody that you haven't been with yet, that you haven't had in your life yet, or whatever, and you're sending energy to that person, and the two energies become one. You don't realize the power of your energy because nobody has ever motivated you to understand the capability of it, which is limitless. That's why I try to convey in the easiest terms possible, because I could do a 4-hour seminar on consciousness and non-duality, but that just gets boring, and what spirituality is and so on and so forth. Well, what it means to me, but that's what I don't want to do, because I don't like when I see these people, these gurus and these motivational speakers just go on for hours about all of these things, and it's just so unnecessarily convoluted. That's not divinity. Divinity is simplicity. Divinity is what you want it to be. But nonetheless, I just wanted to encourage you to realize within yourself the power that you hold. I want you to aspire to inspire yourself to rise, because that's the whole premise of this channel, to get you to understand that you need to awaken your higher self, and you need to couple your mind with the higher self and awaken yourself to the actual presence of your higher self that you can connect with anytime. The reason why you're unhappy is because you're disconnected from your higher self and you're connected to a satanic matrix that, by the way, is falling apart. You can clearly see it's falling apart. Absolutely. That nonsense they said about 4 years ago, everybody was, well, I don't hear a whisper of that on the news anymore. And they said it was going to stay with us forever. That quickly went away because that was a scam, just like everything else they're running. But unfortunately, a lot of people that are one-dimensional, they put their everything into these creatures. So when they say something on the news, it spooks them, and so they go and do it without questioning. And that's a sad truth. But that's because they don't. Again, I'll put it in the easiest terms possible. The lower you are dimensionally, the more you buy into the lies, because the less aware you are of your own power. Because they believed what they were told at a young age, in an early stage of development. Because when you came to this world, you didn't have anything to contrast what they were saying to you. You didn't have any frame of reference to offer any kind of counterpoint to it, or argument, or debate. You see? So then it became irrefutable. And once it becomes the irrefutable truth, it becomes indelible. And once it becomes indelible, it leaves permanent impressions upon the fabric of your mind. So you see, the lower you are vibrationally speaking, you go down dimensions, third, second, first, zero, then you go subdimensional. So when you see these people wearing that over their face, driving in the car at 70 miles an hour with the windows up, they're a lost cause. Forget about them. It's only when you start to break out of that tomb, that casket that they have you in, of fear, and they have locked you in this density of nothingness and just absolute, just oblivion, for so many years of your life, afraid to be this, afraid to that, uncertain of this, all that stuff. You can't reach people like that, but you need to do this to yourself to get yourself out of that casket, out of that tomb. And that's what your power can do. Just one of the things it can do, because you're not the body. You're not the body. You're an energy that's a part of everything, the cosmos, that goes on forever. So when you think about somebody or anything, it doesn't have to be about a person, you're sending it your energy and you become one with it instantaneously, because there's no distance. Distance is an illusion. Time is an illusion. Space is an illusion. Why do you think they use these things in their science? I'm running out of time. Let's synchronize our watches. You know, well, we have to travel this vast distance in outer space. It's not outer space, it's inner It's an inner journey. You must journey within in order to cross over to the other side. What is the other side? Reality. You have to go inside yourself to connect with your higher self in order to disconnect from the illusions of this exterior, external, physical, terrestrial density that you call the matrix, which you actually call you call it the only life there is, the only reality there is. And you have the power to do anything you want with your energy. Nobody set forth to make it a point to issue these orders to you when you were younger, that we will tell you exactly who you are. They didn't. They deliberately didn't do it. What did they do? Welcome to the world. You're going to just be another unconscious soldier. You're going to fit in whether you like it or not. There's an ancient Japanese proverb. The highest nail must be pounded down. Into submission, of course. But anyway, you have to be very cautious with your energy. I give you an example. Suppose you're on Facebook and you're just scrolling through and you see people that you know. So what you're actually doing is, when you're looking at their picture, you're thinking about them. Just the fact that you're looking at their picture, you're actually connecting with their energy. You're sending them your energy, and they'll pick up on it. When you think about somebody, they begin to think about you. This is a telepathic communication. This is a telepathic conversation you're having. Because the soul does not recognize the body. Do you understand? The soul is only inhabiting the body so it can experience these elements of the physical. What you call situations, circumstances, interactions, moments that become memories, experiences that become a part of your reality, and so on. But it's all just energy doing what it does, assuming a different form and ambling through this mortal coil known as planet Earth. It's just super cool. And the things you could do with your energy are just, they're limitless. I don't have enough time in 100 million lifetimes to tell you what you can do with your energy. I just don't. But what I can tell you is that when you watch a movie, like a movie, your favorite movie from 20 years ago, whatever it is, you're actually traveling back to that point because you're connecting with it. Because you check it out. When you sit and watch a movie, what makes the movie real? It isn't the soundtrack or the special effects or the actors. That's not what gives validation to the movie. What validates the movie is your feelings and emotions that you're attaching to it. And your energy. Something that you erroneously refer to as your imagination, which is actually your sacred space, whatever you want to call it. But let's say, argument's sake, you call it your imagination. So your imagination is actually making that movie more than what it is. So now you are putting your personal imprint on that work of art. And now you are infusing your energy. It becomes an extension of you because you have now connected to it, because you brought your awareness to it and your attention. And your focus is now on this because now your energy is entangled and infused and entwined and interlaced and interlocked, enmeshed. Yeah. And that happens with everything. You could be looking at a can of beans and your energy is going to go to it. And the two energies become one. And that can, even though you think it's an inanimate object, it's not. Because everything you're looking at comes from the earth. And the earth is source. So source is not an inanimate object. Never has been, never will be. There's no such thing as an inanimate object. It does not exist. I know you think your furniture and your potted plants, the pot that they sit in and your car, it's not a real living thing. Where did you think they sourced all of that materials from to make those things? From the earth. What is the earth? The earth is God. Everything God is alive. It doesn't matter what you think. A brick that you use to build your house, where did it come from? Did you just materialize it from absolute nothingness? Did it pop out of nowhere into into your hand? It came from the earth. It was sourced from the earth as a natural resource. That energy goes on forever. And whenever you think about somebody, or you watch a movie, or you look at a picture, or whatever, I'll even give you an example. Your loved ones who have passed on, who are safe and at peace with God. You could be hanging their picture on your wall or have them on your phone. They're always with you. But when you send them energy, when you're thinking about them, like you're looking at the picture, you're sending them a lot more energy. That's why it's always advisable to put pictures of loved ones who have crossed over on your wall, because you sending them your energy, and they love that. It's almost like giving them super gigantic hugs from Earth, if that makes any sense. Let me tell you a little bit about hugs. Always hug left shoulder to left shoulder, heart to heart, because hugs heal the soul. And it's so much more important than you think. When you hug somebody, you're actually boosting them up, especially if they're in a low vibration that day. Absolutely. It's a beautiful thing. But nonetheless, whatever you connect your energy with becomes an extension of you, and vice versa. So you have to understand that's just some of the powers and the abilities and the capabilities that you possess. You are an esoteric, supernatural, spiritual, divine alchemist. The things you can do are just remarkable. They're just irresistible. I can't begin to tell you. Look at what you do with your talents and abilities. That's just another form of expression of your energies, is it not? That's your energies expressing themselves to their fullest potential in the physical. I hope. I hope you're not suppressing them in some manner. And it goes far beyond that. It goes far beyond the physical. Physical is a limited, finite space that you operate in just momentarily. That's why life is fleeting at best. Because you're not here forever. You're only here to drop in for a little bit, and then you're gone. You're supposed to learn a lot of things, apply them to your journey, and then move on to the next earth. If you're not, you got to come back. Sometimes it tires you out. Sometimes it'll really wear you out, this place, especially because of who's running the system. And the intention is to do that. It's to fatigue you into compliance to the will of the darkness until you relent and submit, and you become submissive and passive and emasculated, and all of these things that they want you to just have no courage or faith or any kind of backbone anymore. Just be spineless, like a loaf of bread with legs. But that's not going to happen. But anyway, whenever you do anything, you are sending your energy to it. You could be picking up a bracelet on your dresser. You're sending an energy. Wherever your energy is going, that's where your attention is. And also, don't forget, unconsciously, you're sending your energy out there. You're not even aware of you yourself doing this. You are communicating telepathically with beings not of this earth. Beings from your original source home energy planet and other planets as well. Other galaxies, other star systems, other universes. I'll give you a little insight into the universe. You've seen Crab Nebulae, they call nebulae. Okay, those are nurseries for souls. Those are also portals to the angelic realm and a whole lot of other things. They're energy fields for extraterrestrial craft to refuel, especially if you look at Aurora Borealis and Aurora Australis. Those are fields of energy, magnetic energy. They have electromagnetic propulsion in the extraterrestrial craft, and they use it as refueling stations. So they go into these fields of energies, they refuel, and they pop in through stargates or whatever it is. Trust me, I'm telling you, you don't know this place. You think you do, but you don't. I remember one time when my son was little, my first son. I think he was about 4 or 5 years old. This was back in the 80s. And we were living in Brooklyn at the time. We were down near, right off the Bell Parkway. It's near the water, right before the Verrazano Bridge. It's in Bay Ridge. There used to be a Toys R Us over there. And it was late night, like 9:30, 10 o'clock. So my son and I, we were just looking straight up. And we happened to be looking at the same, what we thought was a planet, because it wasn't flickering or anything. It was a solid light. And it was there for about 15 minutes. We were just staring at it. And all of a sudden it just went, and it was gone. And I looked to my son and I said, "Did you see that?" He goes, I said, "Mm-hmm." There you go. It just shot straight up. It looked just like a planet, like any of the other stars and planets. And then next thing you know, it was perfectly still, and it just rocketed straight up and gone. And I was like, "Did you see that?" He said, "Yes, Daddy." I said, "There you go. That means we're not alone." I remember one time when I took a trip to Seattle, I was out in the front yard of my friend's house, and it was Seattle's gorgeous. If you ever get a chance, I highly recommend you go there. It is a beautiful place. Oh, Jesus, beautiful. Pike Street Market, Wings Over Washington, the Museum of Popular Culture. Oh my God, it's just freaking intense. I didn't get to go to the Space Needle, but that's definitely on on my to-do list when I get back out there. But anyway, we were outside of my friend's house, and we were just looking up, and they saw this like object that was iridescent. It just cruised by it, it stopped, and it started to warble, and all these colors were rotating around it constantly. And both her and I were immediately connected to this thing, not even metaphysically, not spiritually, not telepathically. It was something else, otherworldly. And it just hung there. And it was like just clutched to my soul. And I immediately recognized it as the most familiar element more than anything on this earth. That's a little reminder that you are not what you believe yourself to be. If you ever get a chance to go out in your backyard at night and look up at the sky and connect with that energy, I highly encourage you to do that, because you'll be connecting to something not of this world. And if you honestly open your soul and give it a chance, you'll listen to the information they have to give you that would enlighten you beyond all means of anything you'd ever learn on this earth. So in ending this video, I just want to say you have to recognize your power, because whatever you're focusing your energy on, you become one with. And through your memories, you can travel to points in your past, because those energies never die. Even though the people that you had those experiences with may have passed on, the energy lingers in residual form indefinitely in the physical and in the non-physical, in the formless non-physical, because that is the most beautiful aspect of energy, because it never dies. So the memories that you've created from the past once that were moments and experiences, they live on forever. Because if they live on for you, then they live on forever, because you live on forever. So they're an integral part of you. So therefore, they're a very, very special piece of you, and they won't die. You know, that's just the power of energy, man. I can't even tell you. I wish I really could. I wish I could reach through the phone and say, listen, I want you to really understand what I'm trying to say. You know, you're not giving yourself credit for who and what you really are. And they won't tell you. You won't learn this in their books. They're going to keep this stuff secret, because they run a system that's just lies and propaganda, man. That's all it's about. But you can clearly see the universe has had enough with this insanity. You know, you could see it start chiseling away, because some big names are going to jail, and they're going to start talking. And a lot of big, very important, very powerful people are going to start falling very quickly. You could see the system is crumbling. It isn't going to stand anymore, because people are starting to catch on. You're being lied to. You've been lied to about everything. Anything that comes on the news, unless the only truth that the news tells you is the final scores of sporting events. The rest of it is scripted. Big time scripted. You know, but anyway, I'm going to cut this video short in saying that you are blessed beyond all measure. You know, I can't begin to convey to you who and what you really are. So you understand, when you come here, you start off on a low dimensional plane, subdimensional, whatever that is. It could be like the 35th subdimension. Give you an example. Then you work your way up. You know, you work your way up to the 34th, the 33rd. I would equate it to this. It's like a building that has the ground level, lobby, and then you go up 500 floors or 1,000. But it also has the sub basement. It has the basement and the sub basement. There's a lot of old hospitals that have a multitude of sub basements, like it'll say B1, B2, B3, like that. Now consider these sub basements, these subdimensional planes of unconsciousness. The zero dimension is where that barrier is broken. Now you're moving into something that's a crossover. You're not into the subdimensional, like negative integers. Now you're moving into the actual numbers that will allow you to go forward. You know, and then you get into the first dimension, and then you have to come back and reincarnate to the second dimension. Then you come back and reincarnate in the third dimension in the hopes that you get up 1, 2, and 3. But sometimes the inherent dilemma is that you don't apply these lessons to your life when you're alive in your block of time. So you got to come back and do it again and do it again and do it again until your mind says, hey, wait a minute. I don't think this is real. I think we're being lied to, boys. You know, I think it's time for us to wake up now and realize that we're being played like a fool. And we're not being told what who we really are for a reason, because they're keeping that a secret. Like the book The Secret that came out like 20 years ago. The only secret is that they're never going to tell you who and what you are. That's the secret, because God ain't keeping any secrets from you, and God never will.